Hello and welcome to my channel. In the beginning of the movie sense is set in the beautiful city of Barcelona, Spain, in the year 1999. In Barcelona, a skilled goldsmith named Juan Pablo is working in his uncle's goldsmith business. One evening, Juan working hard, even after the shop is closed. He is hunched over his workbench, focused on a delicate piece of jewelry. His uncle sees him working so late and asks if he is preparing a piece for the upcoming exhibition. Juan looks up from his work and tells his uncle that he is just finishing an order for a client. Just then, his phone rings. It is the client he was talking about business. Juan tells the client that he is leaving for New York soon, so for any future work, he should contact his uncle, who is also an excellent goldsmith. After the call, Juan's uncle asks him about his trip. Juan explains that his plans have changed a little. He says that instead of going to New York tomorrow, he will first go to a town called Onira. Then on Sunday, he will fly to New York. His uncle is curious and asks him why he needs to go to Onira. Juan explains that someone has finally appeared who wants to buy his parents' old apartment in the town, so he has to go there to handle the sale. As they are talking, his uncle asks, "Since you are going to Onira, will you also stop by Vilasana?" When Juan hears the name Vilasana, his face changes. He is quiet for a moment and then he breaks the silence, telling his uncle that the past doesn't matter anymore. The next day, Juan gets on a train to go to Onira. As he sits by the window, the train starts its journey. But even though Juan said he didn't care about Vilasana, he can't stop thinking about it. As the train moves, Juan gets lost in his memories, and his mind wanders back to the past, to the time he first went to the small, rural town of Vilasana. The story flashes back to the year 1976. Younger, teenage Juan. He has arrived in the small town of Vilasana for a job. This town is very different from the big city. It seems to be behind the times compared to other Spanish towns, but the people in the town are incredibly friendly and seem to be very happy and cheerful. On his first night, the young Juan feels a bit bored and lonely. He decides to take a walk outside and finds a place where all the local teenagers are gathering. As soon as he arrives, the other young people see that he is a new face. They come over and ask him why he is in their small town. Juan explains that he is a trainee journalist. He tells them he will be working at the local newspaper office. The group welcomes him, and they spend the night playing games and talking. Juan has a wonderful time and feels happy to be there. The next morning, Juan rides his bicycle to his new job. When he gets to the newspaper office, his uncle, who got him the job, is there. His uncle takes him around the town, introducing him to all the important local people. While his uncle is busy bragging to everyone about his talented nephew, Juan's attention is captured by someone else. He sees a beautiful woman walking by. She is dressed in amazing, fashionable clothes. He is instantly stunned by her beauty and asks his uncle who she is. His uncle tells him that the girl's name is Celia. He says that she is a famous fashion designer in the town, but he also jokes that she is a little crazy. He tells Juan that she was left at her own wedding and has been acting strange ever since. He jokes that she always dresses like she is in a movie and that Juan, as a writer, could write a novel about her. But the owner of the restaurant, who is listening, knows Juan's uncle is just teasing. He tells Juan the real story. He says that the woman Celia is a seamstress and she loves fashion from other places. She just likes to wear interesting clothes. Juan's uncle knows that it is very difficult to make a living as a writer in this small town, so he is just telling his nephew jokes. But Juan doesn't understand the real meaning behind his uncle's words. The restaurant owner then asks Juan, "So you want to be a writer?" Juan says that he wants to be a writer or maybe a journalist. His uncle hears this and tells him not to look for trouble. And so, Juan's life in Vilasana begins. He spends his days happily, watching movies, writing news stories, and exploring the countryside with his new friends. One day, Juan is on his break from work. He is sitting in a cafe, reading a book. Just then, the seamstress he saw on his first day, Celia, walks into the cafe. Their eyes meet across the room. They just stand there for a moment looking at each other. But then, for some reason, Celia seems to change her mind, and she turns around and walks right back out of the cafe. That night, Juan goes to a big party in the village of Vilasana. At the party, everyone is dancing and having fun with their friends and lovers. But Juan, who doesn't have a partner, is just standing on the side, watching everyone else have a good time. After a little while, Celia comes up to him. She tells him that he looks like someone she used to know. Then, she starts asking him many questions. His name, his age, his father's name, and even his grandfather's name. Juan answers all her questions, but he feels a little strange about being asked so many personal things. He feels uncomfortable, so he turns away and goes to find his friends. Later, the party reaches its peak. The music gets louder, and people are dancing with more energy. Juan is dancing too, and his eyes are drawn to Celia. He watches her dancing, and she is so full of life and energy. As he watches Celia dance, he can't help but smile. He is no longer the serious, shy boy. He is charmed by her. The next morning, Juan goes to Celia's seamstress shop. He brings a torn shirt with him, using it as an excuse to see her. When he comes inside, Celia tells Juan to lift up his shirt. Juan is a bit confused, but he does what Celia says. When he lifts his shirt, Celia sees a scar on his body. She asks him if he had his appendix removed. Juan says yes, he did. He is still looking at Celia, and she is looking at him. In that moment, he leans in and gives her a kiss. And with that, Juan and Celia fall in love. They spend every day together, meeting in secret, sharing their time, and falling deeper in love. After Juan falls in love with Celia, he is happier than he has ever been. He is more energetic at work and full of life. They are happy, but an event is coming that will tear them apart. One day, Juan tells Celia that his job in the village is ending. He says that in 2 weeks he has to leave and go to Barcelona. He asks Celia to come with him, but Celia hesitates. She asks Juan if he feels uncomfortable being with a woman who is older than him, like his mother. Juan tells her that he doesn't care about any of that. He just loves her. One day, Juan is visiting Celia's house. He sees a painting she is working on, and he asks her about the man in the painting. Celia just says that the man in the painting is an old friend. Her answer is simple, but for Juan, it changes everything. His mind is flooded with jealousy and worry about this other man in Celia's thoughts. Juan becomes obsessed with knowing the truth. On his way back from a bar, he asks his uncle to tell him about Celia's past. His uncle tells him the real story. Celia fell in love with a foreigner. She trusted him completely, but he deceived her and left. His uncle says that for a very long time, Celia waited for this foreigner to come back. She just waited and waited. The next morning, Juan goes to Celia's shop again, using the excuse of his torn shirt. He then takes Celia to his own house. They take a picture together, and that night, they turn on some music and start to dance. As they are dancing, Juan asks Celia, "Do you still think about him? The man from your past?" Celia is honest and answers, "Yes." Juan then continues. He tells Celia how crazy he is about her, and how much he loves her. He says he wants to be with her in public, not hide their love. And then he tells her the words he thinks will set her free. "The man you are waiting for. He is never coming back." But this is not what Celia wants to hear. She is devastated and angry. She is upset with Juan, and she turns and leaves him now. The story flashes forward to the present day. The older Juan. He is looking at the old photograph of him and Celia. He has arrived in the village of Vilasana, the place he left so many years ago. It is late at night when he arrives in the village, and the streets are dark and completely silent. Juan goes to the nearby hotel to get a room. When he gets to the hotel, there is no one at the front desk. He stands there and waits. After a moment, the hotel clerk appears. He is rushing around, and he explains that his wife is about to have a baby, so he is in a hurry. He tells Juan he can pay for the room later, and quickly gives him his room number. The next morning, Juan comes down from his room. The hotel manager is at the desk, and asks Juan where the hotel clerk is. Juan explains that the clerk's wife was having a baby. Juan then asks the manager if the hotel serves breakfast. The manager tells him no, and says he should go to the Negresco restaurant in the village to eat. So, Juan goes to the restaurant. As he walks, he looks at all the people in the village, remembering the place he once knew. He sits down at the restaurant and is about to eat the food he ordered. At that moment, a young woman who looks exactly like Celia walks in. As the woman walks into the restaurant, Juan's eyes meet hers. He is completely focused on her. But after a moment, a man comes up to Juan's table and rudely tells him to move to a different seat. For a normal person, this would be very rude. But Juan, being calm, just gets up and moves. Then, a friend of the rude man, a man named Onofre, walks by. He gives Juan a dirty look, grabs Juan's coat from the hook, and pulls it so hard that the coat rips. Seeing this, Juan, who is tired of being treated this way, tells the man that his coat is an American brand. The man, Onofre, is rude, but his girlfriend, who is with him, is kind. She tells Juan that she is a seamstress, and that she can fix his coat. She says she will repair it and send it back to him tomorrow, good as new. Juan is disgusted with these rude people. He doesn't even eat the food he ordered. He just gets up and goes back to his hotel. When he gets to the hotel, the clerk from the night before, whose wife is fine, asks Juan for his ID card to check him in properly. Juan, however, doesn't want to show his ID. He tells the clerk that his wallet, with his ID, was stolen on the train. The hotel clerk says he will report it to the police for him, and that Juan can pay for the room later. After this, Juan goes to the old house he used to live in. There is no one inside. He goes in and finds a small box of documents. He takes an ID card from the box and leaves. In the next scene, we see Onofre, the rude man from the restaurant. He is working in a field, spraying crops. He is talking to his girlfriend, the seamstress, who is also named Celia. He tells her that he is getting a good salary now, and he wants to marry her in May. Celia is not paying attention. She is focused on her work. So, Onofre says it again. We will get married. He tells her that he will be a leader at his work. If he do well in his job position in 1 year, so she doesn't even need to go to her design classes. Celia asks, so I can't go to my design course? Onofre, not understanding, says she can still go if she wants to. In the next scene, Juan goes to the hotel counter to pay his bill. He asks the clerk if he can pay in US dollars. The hotel does not accept dollars, so Juan has to go to the local bank to exchange his money. After then, he stay in hotel for a while, and he go to hotel reception. He asks the hotel clerk what time the train to Anira leaves. The clerk tells him that the train line is shut down. There is a bus, but it is much slower. Juan, who only wants to take the train, is frustrated. He decides to go for a walk. As he walks, he sees the new young Celia, who looks so much like his lost love. He finds himself walking to the old farm where he and the first Celia used to be happy. As the old memories come flooding back, Juan decides to do something. He remembers the earrings his old love used to wear. He decides to make a new pair, just like them. He goes to the local goldsmith shop. But the goldsmith tells Juan that people in this town are old-fashioned and don't wear things like that. Juan, a master goldsmith himself, asks the man if he can just rent his workshop for a little while. The goldsmith agrees, and Juan, with the help of an assistant, begins to create the beautiful earrings. The next morning, Juan puts on his best clothes. He finds the young Celia, gives her the repaired coat, and thanks her. He then invites her and her friends out for a meal. And so, Juan and Celia sit at a restaurant talking. Celia is charmed by Juan's stories. The next day, she meets him at a cafe again. Juan tells her about America, and how women there can make their own decisions and even own their own businesses. Celia tells him that in Spain, it's not so easy. She says that if a husband doesn't give permission, a woman can't do anything. As they talk, Juan tells her that he once met a woman here, long ago in the summer. He says that the real reason he came back was to tell her something. Juan then tells Celia that she has a lot in common with his old love. He says that she is talented, just like she was. He says that his old love made a mistake, and maybe it is fate that he is here now, to stop Celia from making the same mistake. Celia is completely mesmerized by Juan's words. She almost forgets the time. She tells Juan that she must go, but asks him to meet her again to tell her about fashion in Barcelona and New York. One rainy day, Celia finds Juan, asking him about fashion. Even though it's pouring, she sees a photographer and asks Juan to take a picture with her. One day, Celia's fiancé, Onofre, confronts her. He says he saw her at the restaurant, and he also saw Juan after he entered that restaurant. He is jealous and angry. He tells her that they are getting married, and she must stop seeing Juan. Onofre then gives her an ultimatum. If she sees Juan again, they are broken up. Celia, who hates being controlled, gets angry and walks away, but she is still confused. She goes to see Juan again, this time to show him her fashion designs. After they talking to each other, Juan gives her the gift he made. The beautiful earrings. He hugs her for a moment, and then he goes back to his hotel. That night, they meet again. Celia, wearing the new earrings, asks Juan, "Was your old love as beautiful as I am?" Juan doesn't know what to say. Celia then asks, "Do you still love her?" Juan finally says, "I shouldn't be here." But Celia tells him not to be afraid, and she kisses him. They spend the night together. The next day, Celia tells Juan that she doesn't want to live here anymore. She begs him to take her to New York or Barcelona with him. Juan goes to the local church and asks the priest if they can get married quickly. But the priest says it's impossible. They would have to announce the wedding in the church for 3 weeks. Juan leaves the church, feeling defeated. At the hotel, Onofre finds him. He threatens Juan, telling him he knows Juan is lying about his identity, and that if he doesn't leave town on the afternoon train, he will call the police. Juan, who is scared of being arrested, knows he has to leave. He packs his bags and pays his hotel bill. He goes to find Celia at her sewing class one last time. They meet under a tree. Juan tells her that he has to go back to New York today. He gives her a large amount of money. Celia refuses to take it. Juan then tells her the truth. He is a Republican, and if the police catch him, He could be killed. He says he cannot take her with him because it is too dangerous. He makes her promise that she will use the money to get out of this town. Celia, feeling sad, asks him where she should wait for him if she makes it to New York. Juan tells her to meet him at the Chelsea Hotel and says, "The sea is all yours." Celia then takes off the earrings and gives them back to Juan. She tells him to never bother her again, and so, Juan gets on the afternoon train and goes back to New York, leaving her behind. Now, the scene returns to the present time, many, many years later. The old Juan is once again traveling back to Vilasana. He buys his train ticket and arrives in the town. The first place he goes is to the house where his old love, Celia, used to live. But the house has been sold. He then goes to her old seamstress shop, but it is now a video rental store. He asks to local young guys about the old owner of that shop, but they says they know nothing about that. He is disappointed. He stands in the street, remembering the past. Juan then returns to New York. He is going into a hotel and make a book for some days. As the clerk checks for a room, Juan looks up and sees a beautiful, framed portrait of a woman on the wall. It is his Celia. He asks the hotel clerk about the woman in the picture. He asks, "Is she still alive?" The hotel clerk smiles and tells him that the woman lived in this hotel for a very long time, but she is not here anymore. Then he says, "But you are lucky. She is coming back tonight. She is the guest of honor at our New Year's Eve party." Juan is overjoyed. This time he will finally see her again. He writes a note for her and goes to the party. At the party, he sees her. Celia is very old now, just as he is. But when she sees Juan, she smiles the same smile he remembers. The two old lovers look at each other, reunited at last, and the story comes to an end. If you want to watch and support wonderful movies like this, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.